Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yay. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I appreciate you doing this with us tonight. So, everybody that's joining us, feel free to comment, say hello. If you have questions throughout today's chat, feel free to put them in the chat. So, this is my third official live. So, we are learning alongside one another. So, welcome, 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 everybody. Yay. Okay.
Yay.
So, this is a live episode of Chat with Charli. You all have seen that I have been doing this now for almost a year, and we have changed platforms where now, so I can reach more of you, it's going to be live. So, thank you all for tuning in. And here you get to hear invaluable insights and expertise and strategies and ideas from industry experts and professionals. So, that's what Chat with Charli is all about. And we're excited for those that are volunteering their time. So listen to this. It's amazing that are volunteering their time to be here with us every time. So I know today is going to bless all of you, and hopefully you all can engage with us and really get something from it. So I would like to officially welcome Allison to Chat with Charli, who is looking stunning tonight. And I want to embarrass her and read this beautiful bio because I know it is not easy for people to hear about themselves, but I just have to do this because she is so dynamic. So, Allison, bear with me.
Okay.
Okay, so Allison McFarlane has over 15 years in commercial banking, which is just outstanding. You don't look like you're old enough to have that many years in banking, but she founded Allison McFarlane Inc, which is AMI, where she is the CEO. AMI provides bespoke strategies in sales, marketing, and communication. So it's just a triple threat,
Yes.
leveraging her expertise from transformative results. She's also a renowned speaker. So, I just did a bow to a fellow speaker,
Yes.
mentor, and advocate for societal progress. Notable supporting diversity through organizations like the Service Women's Action Network and WISE. Her commitment to ethical leadership and integrity has earned her accolades such as Women Who Mean Business Award. Let's go, Women Who Mean Business. And the title of Houston Role Model 2023. So let's give a warm welcome to Allison. Welcome, Allison.
Oh my gosh, Charli. And I could be anything Tuesday night, and I'm with you.
I love it. I'm honored.
I am too, girl. And I think this is going to be a powerful conversation. I honor the work that you're doing. I think it is transformative. And I just am proud of the leap of faith that you're taking. So I am so honored to be on here to share my influence and my platform with your audience because you're doing some amazing dynamic things. And I'm all about women supporting women.
I love it. What this represents is not only special for me, but I hope for so many others who are watching. So I'm going to take a brief second and let people kind of join in. I'm getting some text messages that people are trying to log in. So let's give, if you don't mind, about 15 seconds or so before we proceed.
Okay, no problem. I'm excited.
You know, technology with people.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I definitely understand.
Okay, so we will get into it.
Okay, let's
So, Okay, I want to start with a little game. You probably have seen my podcast. I love to start with something fun and laid back to help us kind of get to know one another. So, are you willing to play a little game?
Sure. Sign me up.
Okay. Sign me up. You're already here. Okay. I guess you'd have to
I'm
do
ready.
something else to get out of it. So, this is called This or That. So, we can learn a little bit more about you. So, you need to choose. I'm going to give you two opposing ideas, and you need to tell me which one is you, which one you would choose, this or that. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no pressure. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of judging eyes because I don't know what you're gonna say. But number one, cruise or resort?
Resort.
Oh, okay. Night or morning?
Morning.
What? You're a morning person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why you look so lovely, so refreshed. Okay. Spades or dominoes?
So don't judge me. I would probably say neither.
You don't like playing games?
Not those games, no.
So I don't play games, but not those games. It's too much math involved.
It just gets people get real emotional over those type of things. So I try to avoid that. And I don't even think I know how to play them consistently, either one. So I just avoid it altogether.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's funny. Okay. City or countryside?
City girl all day long.
Okay. Yes. Prince or Michael Jackson? We might lose viewers from this, so just take a minute. I don't know.
So I like Prince a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah. That was risky, but you confidently answered.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Fresh Prince or Martin?
Fresh Prince.
This is too easy. You don't even have to stop and kind of think about it. No, Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. That was fun. Thank you for playing. I learned a lot about you. I don't have no eyes. You didn't say anything that made me kind of say, well, maybe spades or dominoes. I don't know. That might have got me a little bit.
Probably a lot of people are like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah. Right now I'm into like Rummikub. Have you ever played that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Like
I'm
Uno,
telling
like Uno or like Monopoly or like Life, stuff like I don't know, like I guess ever since I was a young child, I've always been very driven. So those games that will allow you to think about the big picture, I'm learning how to relax. Eventually I will.
That's awesome. I'm telling you, learn a lot about yourself when you play those games. You're like,
you do.
Maybe I'm a bit controlling.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not mad at you.
I am, and I know it.
Exactly. Okay. So let's get into a little bit of your background. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in your particular industry? And I'm going to mute myself while you're talking, so don't think I am not listening, but I just don't want it to echo. And I got children and girl running all around here.
I remember the days, so I totally understand. So
okay.
My background is one that is very non-traditional. So I would definitely say it started because I actually went to college for marketing and communications. But honestly, I didn't actually start utilizing that until 15 years later, which is now. But I've been a single mom since my daughter was 2 years, well, since she was born. And around 2 years old, I had to figure out a way to make, when she was 2 years old, I had to figure out a way to make money and be able to be present. So I was selling cell phones. I sold the first iPhone when it came out. I was killing it. I was a shark when I sold those cell phones. Like you had to have a certain type of life, like a certain type of mindset, certain type of lifestyle to be able to sell cell phones really, really well. So I did great. But there came a point where we were at work until like midnight. We were at work till like 1 a.m. And I really had to make a decision when she was 2, were these long hours worth the paycheck, or I needed to find something that was more congruent with where we were going and just being able to be present since it was just me. So I had a mentor and a big sister at the time. She took me to Cheesecake Factory in San Diego, California. And she's like, there's more for you to be doing besides selling cell phones. I never thought about banking. It never crossed my mind because everyone was like, oh, go become a teacher. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a teacher. That's not I don't think my personality fits teacher, and I felt like I wanted to do more. So I got into banking because of her. And at that time, so I'm from San Diego. Unlike Houston, you didn't see a lot of Black women or Black leadership. And she was my role model. She had the red bottom, she had the black suit looking sharp and snazzy. She had the Range Rover. So, and it wasn't just what she had, but it's how she showed up. She showed up in such a way that taught me as a 23 year old woman what excellence look like and how you present yourself and how you show up and how that matters. So she opened the door for me to get into banking. And then from there, I just soared because she was like, Allison, in this world of banking, you will find opportunity. And so she opened the door, she blazed the trail for me to become a commercial banker. It took some years. I would say it took about 5 or 6 years, and I didn't really hit my stride until I moved out of San Diego to Houston. And that's where I started doing the commercial banking and really found my place and my voice and found a way to just be a bridge to small business owners getting to understand what they needed out in the community, being a resource partner, being an advocate, just being somebody that wanted to push progress for people that look like me and people that didn't look like me, but wanting to get that information that I was getting, wanted to get that information out to the masses. So I stayed there for 15 years, and it was such it helped me raise my child. It helped me be present. I met my village through banking. I met the people that supported us. She just graduated this weekend, and we had about 60 something people in the room. And I was just like thinking, like, thank God for these people, because as a single mom, there are times you are going to miss out on things. But having such a strong village really propelled, I believe, myself and most importantly, my daughter to be where she is today and just continue to go forward.
My gosh, Allison, you just straight out the gate, you're already about to just get us all feeling like we need to grab a tissue. I love that story, and I love that your journey started with women empowerment. So
Oh, yeah.
someone took that time and they saw something beyond what you saw
Yeah.
and took you under their wing and really poured into you what they know that you were destined for. Because I'll tell you, I don't know if I've ever met a woman in banking, to be honest. I think, especially, I'm not an African American one. So I was very excited when I met you and what you
Yes.
represent,
Yes.
because I think you are in an industry that is not female dominated, particularly in the minority spectrum. So I think that's fantastic. And then as a single mom, kudos to you. I was raised by a single mother. She's on here right now. So shout out to my mom. You know, what honestly, I'll tell you, my husband goes out of town like one weekend and I'm lost. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how my mom did this for
Right.
18 years because I have to do it in one weekend. And I'm like, women are super, super human. And so thank you for sharing and being vulnerable to kind of share that start to banking, which is fantastic. So with that, what led you to then start your own business? Because now you're in several kind of different industries with what you are doing with AMI. So talk to me about that.
So it all kind of goes together, essentially. I've always been really good at marketing and branding. And I learned how to do that, A, because my degree is in communications with a minor in marketing and sales. But B, I learned how to really do it with myself. I learned how to market myself because I realized opportunities were not going to come unless I could present what it is that I was looking for. So
let's go. You know, right? I can't cut you off, but I'm like, you're speaking to my soul with this communication background. But please
yes,
continue. That's
yes.
awesome.
So before personal branding and marketing became a thing, I was already doing it for myself. And I was doing it to the point where I was getting opportunity out of it. So I was like, this is something. Like, I would always position myself out in the community because my heart is for the community. That is I eat, breathe, and sleep the community, because I feel like that is, people talk about generational wealth, but I feel like the only way to really achieve that is through storytelling, us telling our stories and really helping the generations of coming up understand the importance of legacy and just continuing to pour into the generations. So storytelling, communications, it just is something I embody, something I breathe. And I just understand the importance of being effective communicators. So that's really what got me into AMI. I got to a point in banking where I was just kind of over the kind of rigmarole of banking. And I got to a place where I felt like God was kind of pushing me out of banking because I had to make I never had to pivot, but I was almost becoming miserable in banking, and it was something that I had loved for so long. And I was like, what's wrong? Like, why am I not happy here anymore? And why am I not feeling as fulfilled as I did in the past? So I really had to do some soul searching last year, and really talk to my daughter, because while she was pivoting, while I'm pivoting out of career and starting entrepreneurship, she's pivoting out of graduating early and then going off to college and doing all her wonderful, amazing things. So I really had to we had to have a solid conversation about, okay, life is about to change on some levels. So I need you to be in agreement with me, because I feel like it will be unfair for me to start this major transition while she's going through a major transition and not include her in that decision-making process. And she was grateful. I was grateful. It hasn't been easy, but I believe she has seen a grit and a tenacity in her mom that she hasn't seen before. And I believe that it's important for us to show these next generations that everything is not always easy. So you've got to be willing to pivot, even in the hard place, even when it's difficult, even when no one understands what you're doing, you still got to go forward. So I feel like that has been the biggest lesson for both of us, because not only did she finish her junior and senior year and college, over 20 hours of college credit, while mom is over here building this entrepreneurship world, but she also got an athletic scholarship to be an athletic trainer. So I can see that she's learning from me, but she's also blazing her own trail. So it makes me just so honored, because you often wonder, hey, is what I'm doing working? And I tell people often the real test will be when she goes to college, but she's showing me that she has a solid foundation and she's got a strong village. So I'm super excited.
Okay, kudos to you. I saw the pictures online. I said, I don't even know how Allison is taking her time to do this when you've got a baby right now, getting ready for graduation and all of those things. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what you just said, you wonder if what you did worked? Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you, I have been in the school system for many years.
Yeah.
And you personally, you don't have to wait till they graduate to know. I'm telling you right now, we see it, how they behave at school, how they carry themselves when you're away. And I have been around your daughter, and she is just such a dynamic force. And I didn't know she was an athletic trainer, because that's also a male-dominated world as well.
Yeah, very much.
So I like that she's not allowing that to deter her or make her nervous to go into that field. If that's something, baby, you want to do, then you do it. You forge your path. And if they don't make space for you, you make it yourself. So wow, congratulations. I didn't know she got a scholarship too. So, hey, please help the bank.
Yes.
Help the mom in banking not hit the bank.
Amen.
So that's awesome. Congratulations to your own business as well. So kudos.
Yes, ma'am.
Kudos. Okay, so within banking or within your entrepreneurial world, have you seen certain trends that are becoming more and more popular? Are there any new developments within your industry that people need to be aware of?
I would say let's go towards AMI. So personal branding is not just a hot topic. Like, just having a resume is no longer enough. LinkedIn has become the yellow pages of life. So if you're not on LinkedIn setting your brand and your standard, what your authenticity is, what your story is, who your audience is, and what you bring to the table, if you're not broadcasting that, you're missing out, and you're setting yourself from a place of a hardship, because LinkedIn is the place where opportunities are readily available, access to C-suites like never before. If you want to have a conversation with somebody, it's just an inbox away. And these people understand the importance of just showing their brand. And I think as we pivot because I often tell people, I feel like we're in a major transition in the world, not just in the United States, but a world. We're going through a real moment of the changing of the guards, where the older generation is kind of passing through and passing on the next legacy to us millennials, us Gen Xers, us just people, Gen Zs, all the Zs and the Xs. They're passing that on to us. So us not just saying that we're ready, but actually showing up and letting them see that we're ready, so they know who's next. And this is such a pivotal time to get this professional development, to work on your public speaking, to get a coach, to get whatever tools that you can get. Even if your company is not investing in you, you take the time to invest in yourself, because I promise you, by the time this end of the year is over, we're going to see some people that we knew in places, and we're going to be like, wow, what did they do? And I'm going to tell you what they did. They took the time to develop themselves where everybody else was off in the clouds. So this is the time to really invest in yourself.
I'm glad you're speaking to me, because that's something that I'm working towards as well.
Yes.
And it's not easy to walk out on faith and really bet on yourself. But it's exactly what you said, that the time is now. And people say it all the time. Oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it next year. And I was one of those people. I've been speaking about doing linen prep for many years now. And it was so funny when I officially launched one of my girlfriends. I said, what do you think? And she said, about time.
Yes.
Okay, let me humble myself. I said, what do you mean? She said, you've been talking about this. We've all been rooting for you.
Yep.
We knew that it makes sense.
Yep.
We're not shocked. I hate to break it to you. I don't want to act surprised. She's like, I'm excited for you, but I'm not surprised. So that is exactly what you're talking about, that the time is now. And I think that it's fantastic that you help people with their branding, because I know that is something that lasts forever, and it's important when you come and you present yourself. How do you want to present yourself? What do you want people to say about you? You control that narrative.
Yes.
You control that narrative. And so that way, when people say their things, they can say whatever they want, but you're focused on what you said was your brand. So you don't get nervous or shake up a little bit when somebody says something that's different, because you know who you are and you know what you're representing. So I think that is a major piece. I'm excited to hear that we have somebody like you that's supporting people and helping them with that branding piece.
Yeah. It's so important.
Yeah.
Now. It's very
right. Yeah. And then, so when you're thinking about that, I'm wondering, how do you stay current? How do you stay up to date? Where do you get your learning from?
So a lot of marketing and PR, to be honest with you, a lot of public relations, crisis management, other people that are very influential in that marketing and branding space. But ultimately, really just leaning on those that have come before me that have been doing this for years. And just understanding, I think my favorite thing is the psychology of people. Branding and marketing is really about psychologically helping people see what you bring, but almost making them want to be part of what you're doing, and making that emotional, mental connection so that they'll put money and resources behind what you do. So it's just really understanding that psychological piece and how people think and operate, and being able to not just tug on their heartstrings, but let them understand why this is important to them and how that will eventually benefit them. And ultimately, like I tell people all the time, we all have a measure of influence. You're an influencer, whether you want to be or not. You have people that you influence. So personal branding really helps you hone in on who your influence is, what you're trying to influence, who they are, and what is your measure of expertise. Are you a thought leader in this particular space? Are you a subject matter expert? How do you want to be presented? If someone needs somebody on CNN, if someone needs somebody to speak to Forbes, or it needs to be in an article, are you top of mind? So really just having that conversation with yourself. Hey, how do I want to show up in this world? And what do I want to do with this influence that I've been given?
I feel like you're speaking to me. I feel like you're diagnosing me. You're using some psychological, telepathic. We're doing whatever that Marvel character is, or you're just in my mind, and I hope people are listening to that, because that is, you speak a lot of facts and really giving us a lot of gems with that information that people would have to pay sometimes tons of money just to get that basic information that takes you from good to great. Is how do you want to show up? And how are you going to let people know that you are a force to be reckoned with? You have something that they want. You have something that they need. And so I think that that's a powerful way to stay current and relevant, is just making sure that, like you said, you are staying current, you're staying relevant, and you're reminding people what you have to offer. So I think it's not easy to do, but when we get in contact with people like you who can support us through that, I think it's very useful.
Oh, I think so too. Very much so.
Yeah. So what skills have you found vital in the banking world or with AMI? What are some skills that you think are important to be able to have within that field?
I think in all fields, relationship building, being able to connect with people outside of yourself, um, keeping an open mind, being curious, looking to always, I tell people, remain a student of life. If I ever get to the point that I feel like I have mastered life, I feel like we're at a, when you get to that point, you no longer need to be here. It's time for you to transition. So it's important to maintain your posture as a student of life and just being curious about what's around you, what people have going on, and just really getting outside of yourself to connect with others. I think that's the most powerful thing that I have learned and continue to pull on.
Yeah. Yeah, people miss that piece about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
You could be the smartest person. You can have the best GPA. You could be a great test taker. You can
Yep.
have all these accolades. You can look beautiful. But relationships is what's going to take you the furthest because people want to know how you treat them, how you make them feel, what they remember about you, making sure that you are caring about them and not always taking the time to make it about you. And so I think people forget a lot about that relationship piece
Oh, yeah.
because, yeah, that goes a long way.
Huge.
Sometimes, yeah, people ask me, hey, how did you matriculate through the education system as fast as you did? And I would say first was communicate my communication skills.
Yep.
But second, I would say my relationship building ability.
I
I
think
started very young. My mom sent me to camps at a very, very young age. So I could talk to anybody. I could be in a room with anybody. And I value the people that come into my life and what they have to offer. And I'm honored and I thank them. And I make sure that they know what it means to me. So I think that's important that you talk about relationships.
I do too. And I think
Yeah.
something I love that you said that I want to acknowledge, because I think that's powerful. And I want to acknowledge your mom on this.
Yeah.
So many of us in this generation, in this world, that don't understand the importance of pouring into our children. I speak about strategic partnerships and stuff. That's something that AMI does. But if it doesn't start at home, how can you go out and teach somebody something? So I honor your mom for the fact that she took the time to make that investment in you, because you are a dynamic communicator and a dynamic relationship builder. Like you're such a magnetic force when it comes to just your personality and who you are. So you can tell that that's been something that you've cultivated, and you were born with that, but she saw the gift and she took the time to make that investment to cultivate that. So I commend her. I honor her, because that is something that we're missing. Social skills, just basic social skills. We're missing that. And because we're missing that, a lot of connections are being lost, and a lot of opportunities are taking longer than they have to, because the fact we don't know how to connect beyond the surface. But you go deeper in to really make that connection, and not make it so transactional, but make it relational, so that that person knows that you're somebody that they care about, regardless of if they have something to offer. But I feel like because we're in such a place where people want the instant gratification, relationships are they're a long play. They're not a short play, and it might not produce fruit right away. But if you stick in there and you get somebody just as committed as you are, man, that long play can turn into something really powerful.
You're absolutely right. And my mom is on here, so she's gonna be her head is getting like bigger and bigger right now. She's like,
I love it.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do too. We have to give our moms their credit. But it's true. Relationship building goes a long way. And I appreciate you really speaking to that. So we're kind of wrapping it up. I could talk to you, Allison, like all day. I was just talking to you earlier this evening. So I'm going to try to wrap it up to honor your time. But as we're going to come to a close and just kind of thinking about your experiences and what you've done within your industries, and even how you've been as a mother and done such a great job with raising such a beautiful and smart daughter. What advice would you give someone who's interested in doing what you've done? Because you've accomplished a great deal. So if somebody wanted to go into entrepreneurship or into banking, or like you say, merging the two together, what advice would you give them?
Get some great mentors. The best way, some great mentors and some great sponsors. So let me break that down. Mentorship and sponsorship are two different things. A mentor is someone who's going to teach you. A sponsor is going to speak your name in rooms you aren't in yet. So they help elevate you. So you need both to really cultivate whatever you're trying to do. If it's entrepreneurship, if it's trying to grow up the corporate ladder, if it's trying to build a community outside of corporate America and a community inside. You need mentors and sponsorships, because if you can see it, you can achieve it. And it might not look like exactly what you want it to do, but if you can pull some wisdom and some knowledge for someone that has come before you, man, you save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of pitfalls, and a lot of things that you can maneuver around by taking and seeking wise counsel. So I am huge on mentorship and sponsorship.
Which goes back to relationships.
Yep.
You can't get a mentor out of anywhere. They don't just drop out of the sky.
Nope.
Right? You can't get a sponsor without opening your mouth and talking and advocating for yourself and being comfortable in doing that. And so that is wonderful advice, that you need a mentor and you need a sponsor, and they're not the same person. And I think that that is a piece that somebody could take right now and process and reflect on that and think about the people that are in their lives and think, if I don't have that, what do I need to do to go get that?
Right.
What rooms do I need to be in to talk to people so that I can get that? Because everybody deserves to have those people in their life, rooting for them, saying their name in places that their name hasn't been said before. And it's people like you, Allison. I appreciate you. You've been doing that for me lately and telling me different people that would love to, that you would love to have on my podcast. And that's doing nothing but I'm very grateful for that, to have people who are speaking my name, such as Allison, in places that weren't said before. And so I think that the more of us that take the time to do that for other people, then the more likely that the whole community is going to be lifted, and we're going to see more and more success with not just ourselves, but our community. Because when our community is successful, because we are in the same community, we live just a couple neighborhoods from one another, then we all winning, right? There's room for everybody. So I personally want to say thank you so much for what you have shared with us tonight. Thank you for what you have done for Linen Prep with dropping my business and my name in those powerful places. I'm looking at the chat. If there are any questions and comments before we head out, please put them in the chat. I see here, that's my mom on there who was just living it up. You know, you got that one cheerleader, and I'm gonna be honest, that's my mom.
Hey, that's what you need. All you need is one.
Yeah, and so I see here they're just sharing great information. She's saying thank you so much for being on this platform, and that being able to talk to people is huge, which I do agree. My daughter is 7, so it's not like yours, which is headed out for the real world. But I can tell you that that's things that I'm teaching my 7-year-old right now.
Well,
and
she's dynamic. She's dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like she.
Yeah, people have seen her. They tell me that.
She's dynamic. She's dynamic.
I'm just praying for her every day because I see a natural talent.
Yeah, she's a leader.
Yeah.
She's a leader.
Yeah, she has a gift for that. Okay, well, that is all with Chat with Charli. Thank you all for joining, for those that were live. And then this is going to be recorded and uploaded to my Linen Prep channel. So for those that couldn't be here live tonight, can go back and watch this over and over and take notes. Listen to this. Allison is a wonderful, experienced, dynamic leader in our community. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Allison. I wish you the best with your company and your daughter. And just thank you for being here with Chat with Charli.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Bye, Allison.
Bye.